Hi, welcome back. We are now working on our signature one that's going to go on this side of page one. And I'm using this paper as my base. And on the base of this paper was this feature down here. So what I've done is I've cut this off because I'm going to make this as a pocket here. So the total overall measurement, and I'm going to turn this, let me get some of this out of my way. Turn this way. I'm going to line these two back up. The total overall measurement on this is 8 3/4 in your height. And then it is going to be 8 1/2 in your width. Now this should be the approximate measurements going through the next 4 signatures. Then you're going to cut off on this the bottom 1 3/4 inch of this. Your pocket that's going to be down here, not including this 1/2 inch decorative edge, this is going to measure at just right at 2 inches. So if you're using a decorative edge, make allowance for it. Now, some of the decorative edges that I use, this piece actually cuts itself off because of the way the die was designed. This particular piece actually cuts into the paper, so I don't have to cut it out. I just have to make sure that I know what I'm measuring here. So be mindful that whatever die you're using or punch, that you make your own allowances for that. So this is going to be 2 inches by the overall width. Now we're going to put this on the base page first. I have to think this through because I did something and I went, oops, that's not going to work. Oh, you know what I could do? I had turned this over and I had lined this up so that I could put this back in place because this now becomes my replacement for the base. I had taped across this, can't do that because it null and void the pocket that we're creating. But I could put tape here on the ends, which is a great idea. Glad I thought of it. And we'll just secure these two together because we need to work with them. So I'm going to put a strip of tape. Doesn't need to be very big. Voila. Now I have my pocket back. That's awfully pretty, but we're working with this side. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down, get it attached. And then we'll be done pretty much with the base. I don't have this level, so I need to pick it up and pull it down just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so there now is our base page. A little bit floppy down here, but we need our pocket. Okay, so we're going to have 2 flaps on this, and our right side flap, again, not including this, is going to measure at 6 3/8. 6 3/8 by your 8 3/4. Probably can't see that, but then you're going to come in and you're going to score at a 1/2 inch, and then you're going to score at 5/8 of an inch. So 1/2 inch and 5/8 of an inch, and then we're going to attach, and that's what's going to help firm this up just a little bit. So I want my hinge on the front of my base. So for that to work, I've got to put this piece right up to the 1/2 inch score line, which will then put the 5/8 trim. How about we take that piece of tape off? The 5/8 score line that we did, that will put it on the top. Well, for Pete's sake, I put that on the wrong side. I'm not taking it off. It'll work. I'm just going to flip sides is all I'm going to do. Now I'm pushing back on that 5/8 score line so that I can reinstate it. And now this piece becomes my right side piece. It doesn't really change anything. It just changes the appearance is all. It's still going to work and still be functional. Okay, we're going to turn this up. Again, I came up to the 1/2 inch score line. And now I'm going to push back on the 5/8 and reinforce. Okay, now this is okay, I have to think this through, because when it was on this side, I knew what I was doing. Okay, so we're going to place a magnet, but we're going to place the magnet on, I want it on the top. That's what's throwing me. So I'm going to take this off. This. Okay. So this is going to be on the top. And I want to put this magnet on this page on this side. And I'll show you why. So what that's going to do is that's going to put this magnet down in here, but there's a reason I want the magnet on this side, even though it's going to be on the bottom. There's a purpose for it, and I'll show you here in just a second. So make sure that everything's all level. That's really going to put that magnet deep into the middle. Let me cap this off. Now, the magnets I'm using do not have adhesive on them, so I am going to, I should have probably taken this piece out of there, but I don't. Okay, doesn't matter, it works. All right, so then when we close this, it's going to look like this. The reason this was important is because on this side here, we're going to be placing a pocket. And I didn't want the magnet to interfere with what's going to get tucked in here, okay? So let's open this up. Get down there and stay down there, doggone it. All right, let's work on the insides. So on the inside, I am using this paper piece. And what I did, I trimmed the larger, what happened? Oh, my sides are backwards now. I had trimmed to the larger piece first, And then I used the leftover piece here now on the left side, but as you can see, it came up short. So to work with that shortage, we're going to put a band right here. So this is going to go in here, okay? And I just thought of something that I wanted to say and I just forgot. Okay, all right, let's put this on. Because I've got a magnet on this side, I'm going to tape this paper so that if I have to adjust that magnet for any reason, I can get in there. Black flecks, not sure where that came from. Okay. All right, so let's give this a good burnish. And I'm going to pick this off. And because my magnets are strong, I'm going to add another layer so that they stay in place. And then I'm going to line this up to the outside because I want the shortfall in this trim here. Oh, I know what it was. I just remembered what it was. On this particular piece of paper, before you start trimming away, there was this gray border that was all the way around this piece. I cut it off. I find it distractive when you've got a trim here, a trim here, and a trim here, but you don't here because of the way the paper was cut. So I remove these. So unless I tell you differently, trim off that 1/4 inch piece. Okay, now let's, where'd it go? So now we need to turn it this way. So this pocket piece that I cut measures at 1 1/4 inches across by your 8 3/4 in your height. And I ran tape on the back. This actually, where's my picker? This actually is the tape that I had to take off when I did this. I realized that it closed up my pocket, so I saved the tape. Now, when you're putting this in here, line it up on the bottom and then follow up your score line, but don't lay your paper on the score line. Just follow it up. And then in the scraps, this is the piece that I chose to put here. This looks like wind to me. It's a real wispy. I like it. Then we're going to stick this on. And then to add a little bit to this, this is the ephemera piece, and I'm going to attach a couple of flowers here at the base. So if this will allow me to take the tape off. Come on. Oh, there we go. So we're going to put it in here. And then I have two flowers, one large, one small. Oh, see, the paper's separating. It's not going to let me. Oh, there we go. That stuff is real sticky. And I just want to put this here. And then I have a small one, and I don't know how easy it's going to be on this to pull that backing off. I have on an occasion just said phooey with it and glued it on because I can't get these. The problem is I can't see where the paper is and then the tape. And if you see, this is actually pulling, the paper is splitting. So I'm not going to mess with this little flower, trying to get that off. I'm just going to go ahead and glue this on here. And we're just going to put it right there. Done. All right, so now we're going to move over here to this side. And before we do this, we're going to do a belly band on this side. So this is my belly band. It measures in total length at 9 3/4 of an inch. I have a 1/2 inch score at each end, and then I ran my decorative die on both sides of this. So if you're using a punch or you're using a die, just kind of allow for your width, because my width is at 1.5 inches across. So 1.5, and then you're going to go 9 3/4 in length. And then whatever your punch or your die. If you're not going to do either, then just make this 1.5 inches. Now I got to messing around with this, and the best way I found to get this on here was to line this up. I want this roughly in the middle. I put tape on the outside because I want to, once I find where I want to place this, I'm going to kind of tape this down. And then I'm going to pull the paper out. And here's the tape here on this outside. And I'm going to make sure that this is straight. And tape it down, and now I will slide my paper in. I know there's a better way to do this, but this is how I ended up doing it. What I should have done was taped it to the back of this paper, but I had put my tape on the wrong side. And I'm not going to flip this. I've had some people make comments, why didn't you just flip the design? That's because these dies, if you're working with dies, you know that the back side is rough. It's not as pretty as the front side. So I wasn't going to flip this around, and I'll get it figured out here. But all in all, you're going to make a belly band. You're going to either attach it to this, or you can pre-attach it like I've done here and slide your paper in behind it, and then we'll glue it into place. So let me get this lined up here, and I'm just going to kind of cheat. Because I don't want to take it back out. I know this is awkward, this is goofy, but that's how I roll. You guys are really skilled, you can figure it out. It's just sometimes my brain says, ah. All right, and then the reverse side of the base page is that really pretty, soft, floral piece, and I'm gonna put it here, up the center. Like I said, I'm not gonna cut and splice and fix it. I go with the flow. How it gets there in the end is what's important. Then I took this card, it says Wonder. There are several. You can choose whatever card you want. I did back this on the burgundy cardstock so that there was a little bit of color, and it's going to go right here in the center. So I'm only going to glue the center of this piece here. And then I can put this down. All right, so there we are with the inside of the page. So now right side down, left side over. So we are going to, I just screwed up. I hid an element. I really sincerely apologize. I have to take this panel off right here. I have made the comment before that I should have stock in this product. Just like, oh my gosh. It was hidden over here under a piece of paper and out of sight, out of mind. I'm just so stupid sometimes. Okay, this is what I was doing. I took one of the cards. There are cutout cards that are quite large, and I'm using this one on the inside, and there is one that has, I am so embarrassed, there is one that has this pattern piece on it. So I did the same thing. I cut the bottom off. I've made a little pocket, and then this will go back in place. Okay, but to get there, we need to cut this. I'm so embarrassed. This measures at 6 1/4 inches across, not counting that die. It's 6 1/4 across by 5 3/4. So what I want to do is come in here. I want to center this. I'm actually quite angry with myself right at the moment. Come up off there. Okay, so this is the half. The score is going to wrap around to the back, and on my piece I'm coming just a little bit off the top of this decorative die. It's fighting me. I'm going to turn this over. And then I'm going to fold this over. Okay, and now I'm going to put this back on. I need to run some tape on that section. I'm just horribly embarrassed. So I'm going to line this back up, and again I'm coming right up to my 1/2 inch score. And when you put this together, you're going to notice that this little 1/2 inch fold is in the hinge now, and that's because there's bulk when you put in additional paper. So that's what this hinge is for, is to help absorb that so that this still lays over. Now let's go put this back together. This piece is going to go on the inside. I am just embarrassed. Making sure the images are standing up the correct way. Now this piece I'm going to put on first. Make sure I get it centered the way I want it to look. And then we're going to put this piece on. And I think what I'm going to do is I am just going to a little bit of glue, not very much. And then I'm going to put this. I'm bringing this even with the bottom of the page of this flap. And then I'll glue this in. All right, so what we've got here is a nice little tuck. You can still put a photo here, and then on this side you can either hand journal or you can put in a photo. All right, now I hope that's the end of my mistakes. All right, so again, we're going to fold this over, and then on this side, you should have in your paper this piece that has this image on it, this girl. And you're going to cut it so that this piece covers this, and then if you've trimmed it right, this will cover this. Now what I did is I took my craft knife, I came in here, and I very carefully cut around her. Takes a little bit of work when you get down in here. And then I lined her on I'll show you what I've been using. It's just a real lightweight, it's even thinner than a cereal box, but it works. So if you have a cereal box, keep your cereal boxes. You can use them as your lightweight, and then you've got your heavy-duty chipboard. So then I've lined her with some foam pop-ups. Stop, Charlie. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's finish this right here. Let's finish this first. Okay, because I've got a magnet here, I'm going to tape this. it's all coming together. The only thing that threw me was that I had put that one piece on the wrong side, because it was my intention to have it open differently, but it's all coming together with the same intent. So let's finish taking this off. And I put one here. These are going to be my what I call my stabilizers, so that I can put this in place, make sure that it's looking the way I want to look at, and then I can commit these and then take this off. Okay. And then here we have a pocket that I've made, and I went to my scraps and I found this really cool piece. I'm not going to really do anything with it because I like it just the way that it is, and it's going to sit there. And then you've got a nice pocket that you can slide in. And that again is why we've set the magnets the way we have, because as you slide things in here, you don't want the magnet's effectiveness to be diminished because you've got stuff over it. But I'm using, in this particular case, some pretty strong magnets, so it'll be fine for the buyer. This is going to go on my Etsy site. And I will tell you, if you're interested in it, you get on there quick, because my albums, certain ones, sell exceedingly fast. Okay, so I'm going to line it up here along the bottom, and I'm going to follow my hinge all the way up. And then we will glue this. This is getting gobby here, and I don't like that. Okay, here we go. I just cleaned my glue tip, was all. I was muttering to myself. Line it up, straighten it out just a little bit. Okay, and then when this closes, the way it worked out, these two line up with each other. So that was not planned. That was just the luck of the draw. All right, so we're going to glue this one in place, paying particular attention to these cut edges, because I want it to lay flat against the black cardstock. And then we'll go around the edges. Okay. All right, now I'll finish pulling this off. Now, if you don't have lightweight, this little particle board, decorative board, whatever you want to call it. Really thick cardstock would also work. Okay, and then once you've got her trimmed out, you've got this stabilized here. You're just going to come in here and you're going to gently just set her right back in place. Now you've got a little bit of elevation, and now she actually looks like she's sitting on top of the flowers. So there we have it. You've got your nice pocket here. You've got a pocket here. You still have room to put images. And then we have our nice belly band on this side. And we have a nice matching duo going on here. You can put a photo. And again, this is a nice little tuck for something. And then you have your photo or journal opportunity. You can put large photos here, but you still have your pocket. Oh, look at what oh, that's because it's got to get glued down inside the album. I just scared myself. All right, so let's close this up. When we put the tape here, it's going to seal this so that it's not, things won't fall through. So let's go ahead and get our big tape out. And we'll get this put in the album. Now I'm going to use some 3/8. I'm going to pull that up because I don't want. Be careful when you're doing this because I almost did it. This is your pocket right here. So when you put in these support tapes, don't come down in here because then you're sealing your pocket. I just caught myself. All right, let's put it in. And before we seal this down in here, let's open this up. And we're going to pretend that this is sealed. I'm going to hold this down. See, there's your pocket. So that's why you don't want to go beyond this piece and put tape down here because you'd end up sealing it. But there we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to take this one off and we're going to take these two off. I'm going to turn it this way so I can see. I got to see my edge. So I'm coming right up to the edge, and then I'm making sure that as I lay this down, that it is laying down straight. And I'm going to commit that end piece. And see how nice this looks, that you're not staring at all that black. And then we're going to come in here and we're going to burnish this. And again, burnish up and away from your decorative dies if you're using them. You don't want to go against them because you'll end up tearing them. Now, the other thing, if you're first time watching my videos, when I put these down and they've got the hinge here on the end, if I feel that that hinge is trying to collapse, I will push back on it and hold it in place, and then I will put it down and then commit the tape. Okay, let's get this burnished. All right, there we go. So we've got this beautiful piece over here. It's a belly band, and then we've got our big pocket spots for a photo. We have a journaling opportunity or a photo, and then we have a matching duo here, and we've got a nice little pocket. We have a pocket over here, and then we have a pocket right there. So thank you for playing along. I will see you on the next tutorial for this. Until then, bye-bye.